Okay. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the methods. Okay, so what is method and when we will use the method and what is the importance of method? So that we will learn, right? So method is nothing but a set of statements together is called a method. So set of statements will include the data types and variables and constants, right? So statement is nothing but, as we discussed earlier, any of the addition operation or multiplication operation, any of the arithmetical operation or logical operations or loops, whatever it is, these all we called as statements. So we have two different types of methods. Basically, one is non-static methods and static methods. So we will start with the non-static method and why we are creating the methods, that we will understand. So what is the use of creating the method, right? So we'll start with the practical, right? So let me stop sharing here. So here is the project which I have created, and create new class name demo method, and package here you can give com.demo. Now class is created under com.demo package. Clear? So now here what I'm trying to show you, how to create a method. What are the things that will be available in method? So first one, public void. I'm writing some name, get name, right? So this is method syntax. This is a method syntax. So what this public will do, what void, and what is this get name. So here I will write the syntax for this method. First one is access modifier, and void is a return type, and last one is the method name. So these three parameters are important, and this is non-static method. So this is how the method structure would be. So when you want to create a method, it should have the access modifier, and you should have the return type, and you should have the method name. Is this access modifier important? Without access modifier also you can create the method. It is not important, but recommended to create. Okay, so here you understood the syntax of method, how you will write the method syntax. You understood public, void, and a method name. This is the syntax of the method. So now my question is, why we need method? Why we need method? Okay, so let me tell you. So as we discussed earlier, if I write the main method, I can execute the content, whatever the content I wanted to execute it, right? So what will happen if I'm writing total code into the static method instead of writing? So in this class, I wanted to perform multiple operations. For example, addition I wanted to perform, multiplication I wanted to perform, division I wanted to perform, and subtraction I wanted to perform. See that these are the multiple functions or multiple methods I wanted to create. So why can't you do everything in a main method? We are creating the multiple branches. What is the benefit that you are getting? So here I will tell you one logic. As we discussed earlier, if you have the main method, the moment you run the program, JVM will look for the main method, and this is the static content. You no need to create the object reference. Whatever the content that is present in this method will execute. whatever the content that you are creating inside this one, that will be executed. That means no matter whether you are calling and is that necessary or not. So here I have multiple function, but in this moment I wanted to call only multiple function. So I don't have that option. Here, when you execute or when you run, addition will call, multiplication will call, division will call, subtraction will call. Let me write and show in detail so that you will understand the importance of the method. Here I am performing int x and int y equals to 20. And here int z equals to x plus y. Int a equals to y minus x. And int b equals to x into y. And int d equals to x divided by y. Suppose you have this many operations, sorry, x divided by y. So you have this many operations. So here my goal is I wanted to perform all the operations, but while I'm running the program, I don't wanted to do everything. I wanted to do this one. If I'm writing a main method and I wanted to call this specific one, then it will execute everything by default because that every content is present in the main method. And if I wanted to perform all the functions, then we should write the method or not, that we have to understand. One point we understood is, so if there is a multiple functions and we have to pick and we have to execute one function at a time, remaining function or no need to execute, that time method is required so that we can create an object and we can call the specific method so that whatever the content present inside that method, that will be executed. That scenario we understood. So if in case I wanted to execute certain statement, all the statements needs to be executed and there is no explicitly I don't wanted to like skip specific statement. So what will happen here? Say for example, I wanted to write multiple lines of code and I wanted to execute. Here method dependency is not there. I feel method dependency is not there. Let me come to one scenario. You are writing 100 lines of code here and you are not dividing that into the methods and you are writing whole lines of code one by one. If there is an interruption happen, what will happen? The total will failure actually. So instead of that, we can come like skip 100 lines into the multiple methods and we can return something to the some different method so that you can call one by one so that where it is exactly playing failing, that we can able to identify and we can able to do the modification. So the major advantage is, like when you kept all the code inside the main method, since it is static, everything will be executed by defaultly, and to avoid the interrupted flows, we will keep lines of code in some methods and we will keep some lines of code into the different methods, so that what will happen if there is an issue while running, you can able to figure it out which method is causing the issue and you can able to fix that specific one. So that is the advantage and that's where we need the method. So here what we have understood in this class, what is the syntax of the method and why we need the method, that's clear. And next one, we have discussed in earlier class what is static method. Static method is something you can write a static keyword inside the method, public void, sorry, public static void hello. This is the syntax for the static method. Here you have the access modifier and static keyword and a return type and a method name. So here you have the access modifier and static keyword and return type. This is the syntax. So what is the difference between these two? So static method is nothing but you no need to create an object to call this method. And if you wanted to call a method, a non-static method, you have to create an object for this class and you have to call this specific method. Now somewhat we are clear with the syntax. So now what is the key thing that we have to understand is, See, for example, public void add. So return types, we have to understand how the return types will work, how we will return some values to the another method, that we have to understand. So this is the add method. Here I am performing one operation, int x equals to 10, int y equals to 20. Okay, and int z equals to x plus y. Okay, and I have another method, public void addition, changing the method name as addition, and here int x equals to 10, int y equals to 20, int a equals to 30, int b equals to x plus y plus a. Okay, so here we have the two methods. In the first method, we are performing the addition operation, and your second method, you are performing the addition operations. If you see these two methods, first you have declared the variable. This will needs the memory to store that value, and again you declare the variable. This needs the memory to store the value, and this needs the memory to store the value. And if you see the second method also doing the same thing. X value same value, y value same, and if you see a plus b. Here what I feel is, if I see this code, something is already repeated in the above method. Why can't I use that value from the method add? Why I need to write the code again? I feel like that. So what I have to do here, basic thing is, I wanted to send the z value to this method, so that what will happen, I no need to initialize this variable, and I no need to perform this addition operation. Directly I can add the z value to the a. So how we will do that? Here we are discussing about the return types. How one method will return the values to the another method. Will return values to another method. So that's what we are trying to understand. So here there is a method add. Here couple of steps that we have to follow. First thing we have to remember is, so what value we are trying to return? Z value. What is the data type for Z? That we have to identify. So first thing is, what value we are returning. What value we are returning, and what is the data type of that? What is the data type of that value? Here what I'm planning is, I wanted to return the Z value, and the data type is int. Here Z value I'm trying to return, and I understood the data type of the Z is int. So first thing is, we have to replace the void with int. Point number one is done. We have replaced the void with int because Z data type is int, right? And second thing, you have to add return statement in end of the method and return the value of Z. Return the value of Z. That's it. Now you no need to perform this all the lines of code. And what I'm doing here, for a Z value, here I'm writing Z plus A. So what I'm doing here, int Z equals to add. Whatever value that is returning by add, that will be considered and that will print. So for suppose if you wanted to see whether you're getting that value or not, I'm printing also here, and we will run and we will see what is happening. Right, so creating method, control V, object equals to new control V, and you're running object dot. You just need to call addition method, no need to call even add method. I will tell you the reason also. So right, so let me run as Java application and we'll see what will happen. So here this value is printing as a 30, right? So here I wanted to show you one more thing, whether we got the B value as 60 or not. Right, B value is 60, Z value is 30 and B value. So what we have understood here, if there is a same code that is present in the sum method, instead of writing that same code, you can return some values from that method and you can access that value into the another method. So what we have understood in this class, so how methods will return the value. Now the question is, can we return only integer or any other data types also? No, we can return anything. You can return integer, you can return string, you can return array, you can return array list, you can return a hash map, you can return a hash set, whatever it may be, everything can be written. You can add only thing, the value which you are sending, that return type should be string if you are returning string. The value which you are sending should be float if you are returning float. The value of this Z should be double if you are returning double. So based upon the value which you are sending, what data type is it is, that should be a return type. Clear? So here what we have understood, how to return the values to another method and what is the advantage of doing this, that we have understood. And now the second thing, I don't have the extend values here. Okay, extend values are not present, but I wanted to perform the Z operations and I wanted to add it. So always I have a multiple functions, every function needs x plus y value. So instead of declaring multiple times, what I'm doing is I have created one method and whatever the return that is giving, so that I wanted to access it. So now here what we are doing is, we are, okay, first we will try to understand this and we'll move to next section. Return plus, if I'm taking the two scenarios, it will be confused. So one return statement is completed. Now we are going to discuss about how to pass the parameters to method. How to pass the parameters to method. How to pass the parameters. How to pass the parameters to method. How to pass the parameters to method. That we have to understand. Now here x and y I wanted to add, but this method don't have the x and y, and I wanted to send it from here, right? So you can send 10, 20. You are sending, but how you can access it? You have to declare what data type that you are sending. I'm sending int x, comma int y. This is how we will send the values. So z value cannot be accessed because there is a no return type there. Okay, so here let me show you like this, right? Even from main method we can execute, that's fine. So object dot add, to call the add method we have to send two values. Here I will explain in details, no worries, just wait. So here now I wanted to call this add method, and what is the parameter which is required here? We need the x value and y value, and we will try to see whether I am able to sending these values or not. Here I have defined x as a 10 and y as a 20, and I wanted to send these values to this method add. So when I click here, you can see what is happening. So object dot add, you can see these values are reached to the this method, add method, and the values addition that you are doing in line number 17, and you are printing the value that was 30. So what we have understand here is we can return the value and you can pass the values to the method. So here two things that we have understand. One is how to returning the values from one method to another method. Here what we have understand how to send the values to one method to another method. So here it is a main method. You can send the values from non-static method, all the different types of methods that we are going to discuss going forward. So here, no matter what it is that static or is that non-static, no matter what it is, you can able to send the values. So whatever the values that you are passing, that you can able to access. Now my question is, here, can we pass only integer, or can we pass only two values, or can we pass a multiple values? Yes, you can pass a multiple values. You can pass a multiple values. Here you have to declare like that, and you have to pass that many values while calling. Otherwise it will give the compile time error. You can pass the multiple values. So here you can pass multiple values. And second question, only integers can we pass? No, you can pass string, you can pass array list, you can pass whatever it may be. So here anything you can pass it as. So here two things that you have to understand. Let me tell you those things. Hello. Right. So here, as you told me, you can pass any value. So here you're declaring the string, but why you're adding s? What is the use of s? So here let me tell you. So s is stands for what is the data type that you are sending. So here if I'm sending 10, it will not allow because that method requires the string. Here if I am writing a 60, you can see the error message. The reason because this methods requires the string. So first this is restricting me to send only strings. It will not allow integer, first thing. And second, if you are adding s, so s stands for, so whatever value that you are sending, that will be assigned to s. So if I'm sending hello, so that will be assigned to the specific variable that you have declared here. When I run and when I print s value, so it will take this value of hello and it will print the hello in console. Right? We have discussed two things. One is how to return the values to one method to another method, and we have discussed how to pass the values. What are the different data types that we can pass? Anything we can pass, and any number of values that you can pass. Now I wanted to send the values and I wanted to return. Both operations need to be happen in the same time. So how it will happen? Let me repeat one more time. I have to return the values and I have to send the parameters. Parameters I have to pass, and at the same time I have to send the values. So how it will happen, we will discuss. So here I wanted to perform the addition operations. Strings, we don't know strings redefined method, we haven't discussed. That's why I'm going back with the integer values. Right. So here I wanted to perform addition operations and I wanted to return the value. So both things need to be happen in same time, x plus y. And I wanted to add the return statement. As I told you, the first thing is what is the return type of z? We place that return type with a void. So first thing is done, and second one is add the return statement end of the method and return the value which you wanted to return. It is done. Now, what we have understood here, when you're writing the parameter, this method is looking for two values. Those are integers, right? And second one, when I wanted to access this method, what it is giving the integer it is giving. And what is the value? That is returning the z value. And you just need to call that object dot add, and you have to pass this value. First one is 30 and second one is 50. And if you are printing that value here, and Z value, we'll see what will happen. So this will access that value. So here you are sending these values to this method. This method is calculating and returning that Z value, whatever the value that is returning, that you are accessing and printing. So what you have performed here, you are able to pass the values to add method, and you are able to accessing that value of Z by returning by add method. You perform the both. So we have learned returning the values first and passing the values next returning and passing the values in same time. Right, so this is all about the methods. We have the different types of methods: static method, abstract method, non-abstract method. When there is a concept of abstraction, we will discuss about abstraction methods, so that we will discuss in further, but it will be applicable for all. Right, thanks.